Oh, we're live or recording anyway. Um, yeah, this video particularly is something I've been this morning. I've been going through some of the videos that I've done, some of the work that I've done, and a question around about um, the question of inspiration popped up in my mind. And so I just thought I'd have a little look through the videos that I've done. And it seems as though I hadn't particularly done one that focuses on this particular subject. So I went back into my library, literature, videos, clips, things that I've been sort of looking at over the last few years. And became inspired. So I just thought I'd do a video of the things that I've sort of relearned and reminded myself about with regards to this subject. So, inspiration. There's a wonderful quote by Patanjali, on inspiration, which I've posted before, and I may post again later on, just as another remind. But it started me off on this journey of research today. And I got to a very good clip from a guy, as you probably may know, called Wayne Dyer. And he spoke about the difference between inspiration and motivation. He said basically that motivation was something that, you can't be swerved away from when you're on a project or something. So something that you're doing and you're motivated towards that. Whereas inspiration is something that comes to you. It's basically presented to you in some way. Um, so it could be something that happens to you you think about something and it is presented. And there is a subtle difference between the two things there. And this little voice that goes off when you are inspired is the voice that I kind of think that we should be listening to a lot more if you're willing to listen to it. And I'll sort of go on about there's different things I want to talk about around that. But ultimately, I think what you've got to realize, and I do say it a lot, is that we are infinite possibilities. Now, I suppose, well, what does that mean? It means that you are basically already coded for greatness. Um, Again, that seems a little bit mystical, but what I'm saying is that when you were born, when you arrived here, you arrived basically from whatever your spiritual, religious, non-faith background even you came from to this world into from a divine place, a place of absolute perfection. You were there, you were this bundle of joy, and basically what's happened to you over life is that you may have been socially conditioned to a point of where you are now. But generally speaking, you were coded for greatness, so it is already built into you, this ability to be inspired. And so you go through life and people say, or your voice in your head may say, you can't do that. You're not that good at sport. You're not that clever. You're this, you're that, and all these limiting beliefs start to appear. And so over time, you start to develop this idea of yourself, of who you believe, through these this conditioning that you are. Are you good at sport? Are you able to climb a mountain? Are you able to ride a bike and so on? And you get these limited beliefs. And I suppose in terms of inspiration, the idea that I'm sort of working around is that you have to be able to almost build a bridge or bridge the gap between these limiting beliefs and the idea of no limit living, which you were already coded for anyway. But the thing is, it starts with you. It starts with your idea to recognize that you may, through no real fault of your own, have been conditioned in this way that you may feel that you are limited. Let me tell you, you're not limited. Okay, it starts with you. So, I think what it is, it's there's a quote from Maslow. It basically says, what is necessary to change a person is to change his awareness of himself. So you have to be aware that there is something more to you than perhaps you've been led to believe. And you have to shift these limiting beliefs. I mean, Einstein said nothing happens until something moves. Of course not. you need to be able to shift into this particular gear. And it's all very well, it's to say, well, okay, it's really not, my screen is just sort of leaning here. It's not about what others want for you. Um, it really is more about what you want for yourself. I'm gonna have to hold this screen a little bit. The best intentions of somebody else aren't really enough. Um, Inspiration comes from within, basically. So you've got to listen for that limiting voice. That voice when you think of a project and it says, "No, you can't do that," and call it out. Cast it out and say, actually, you want to recognize that there it is. It can be quite subtle. Do you want to do this today? No, I don't, not really. And your limiting belief seems to sort of color that. So you've basically got to trust. You've basically got to trust in where you came from. This idea that you are infinite. You came from an infinite source. Um, so I think generally speaking, it's about being obedient to that voice or to that idea of yourself. Um, Again, another quote: "Obedience to your own desires will bring abundance to you." So the idea that you've got to basically, I would think, you've got to grow. You've got to grow in compassion for yourself. You've got to give yourself a break a little bit, and with that, you will grow in general, and with that, you will grow in wisdom. Um, and the funny thing is, when we talk about desires and these ideas, and you get these wonderful sort of projects in your mind, and all of a sudden, some limiting voice comes in and says, "Well, you may be able to do that, but actually, you know what? You're not that good at maths, or you're not that good at money, or you're not that good at relationships," and all of a sudden, there it is, and there it is again. So, in terms of for me, inspiration is something that actually happens to me. It comes to you. You know, you can sort of try and plan your life. You can obviously have um, things and desires that you want, but why not try and follow those? I mean, our desires, as far as I understand it, from the reading that I've done, oh, I just nearly fell over there. From the reading that I've done, um, it says our desires don't arrive on our schedule. They arrive when they're supposed to arrive. So you need to relax a little bit about that. Talk about what you desire, of course. Talk about what it is. That's a good thing. Start to sort of, for me, I do talk about what it is I want rather than what it is that I lack. And of course, what we think about expands. So, in terms of this whole subject of inspiration, I think it's something that you need to listen for. You need to get rid of that voice that says you can't do that. You have to cast out the limiting ideas, the limiting beliefs that you've been socially conditioned to through your life, and say, do you know what? Actually, I want to do stuff for me, about me. I know it sounds a little bit sort of selfish, but of course that's what selfishness is. It's uh, being sort of true to yourself, doing the things that make you happy, and trying not to people please or not to do things that other people might want for you. Because when those people go away, it doesn't leave you in any kind of stable position. So I suppose this whole point, this whole sort of bit of research that I've done and the back, looking back on the videos that I've done, is I needed to get this out, and I was called to do it. And that's the other thing. I listened to my voice this morning, the voice that says, "You need to do something on inspiration here." Actually, I've got friends in Australia who are doing Inspiration Week, and so I suppose that's probably what it is. But I listened to the voice rather than listen to the voice that said, "Yeah, but you could actually just sit on the sofa and watch TV," or "Yeah, you could just maybe go and have a coffee in your favorite coffee shop." Actually, I did go and have a coffee in my favorite coffee shop, but also all of the time I was there, I was thinking about the video that I was going to do when I got home, and here it is. And so, yeah, that's the voice I think you need to listen to. So, you know, I think if anything from the learning that I've sort of, or the relearning that I've done today, is the thing that I've discovered is you have to trust in your desires. You have to talk about your desires. There's no point talking about the lack in your life. It's talking about the things that you want to do. It's the things that make you happy. Because at the end of the day, nobody else can make you happy other than yourself. And it really is down to you. So remember, you were coded for greatness. There is a program here in your mind that was already there, and you just have to download that file. But be easy on yourself in the same instance as well. It will arrive, and it will arrive when it's supposed to. So I'm feeling inspired. Can you tell?